Welcome to the E-Show with Neil Ravin. With over 1,000 NCAA commitments, the EHL is the proven path to college. Turn it up and learn more about the college placement leader at the Division II and III levels.
Welcome to the E-Show, presented by the Penalty Box Foundation. The Foundation's mission centers around their daily motto: we take care of our own, as they help out all of those within the hockey community who have experienced a catastrophic event. Learn more at penaltyboxfoundation.org. What's up? My name is Neil Ravin, and this is episode number 54 of the E-Show. On this week's episode, I chat with Eric Sorenson, a former assistant coach at both Nazareth and Williams, and the new head coach at Rivier University. The Rivier Raiders are a new program that will be kicking off their inaugural season at the NCAA Division III level this upcoming fall. Along with this week's exclusive interview, the E-Crew breaks down all of the new faces coming on board for the stretch run and recaps the fantasy points that have been accrued so far in 2021. I'm joined now by Eric Sorenson, the head ice hockey coach at Rivier University. How's it going, man?
Going good. Thanks for having me, Neil. I appreciate it. Really looking forward to this conversation today.
Thanks for coming on. Obviously, we talked about this. I think I saw you at a game a month or so ago. You've been out recruiting a lot. Obviously, you're starting your first season at the Division III level with this program next fall. How many games have you been to so far?
I don't know the exact number. That's the best way to put it. I've been trying. My first official day, I believe, was November 30th, so the Monday after Thanksgiving. So it's been a pretty hectic first 6 weeks, I'd say. Obviously we're starting play in October, so I've been trying to get out to as many games as I possibly can, obviously within the region here at the start, and we'll go from there.
And I know it's not your first year coaching at Division III. You have prior experience as an assistant coach at Nazareth and at Williams, but obviously you eventually wanted to climb the ladder. Had it always been a thought of yours for it to be with an inaugural program, or is this just how it worked out?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where I've had conversations with people in the field about, would you go to a new program that doesn't yet exist? And I kind of have always thought, yes, like, why not? I mean, it worked out that way, that it was Rivier, that it was a new program. It wasn't like it had to be a new program, but it was always kind of alluring to me, something interesting to me, I should say, because you get to kind of create your own culture. You get to, establish something that you can kind of look back on, that the players can look back on with pride, after a number of years. So everything that people are going to see on the ice next season, obviously from the players and the systems to, the uniforms and the equipment that we use, is coming down to me right now, because there's no assistant. So there's been a lot of steps, a lot of processes, and things I've learned along the way, but I'm excited about it. And I think we have, something that we can, really sell both academically and athletically to players.
With it all falling, I guess you could say, on your shoulders, does it make you nervous at all?
I would be a liar to say, no. But it's a quiet confidence that I feel in myself. I've been fortunate, like you mentioned, where I've worked before, to have two fantastic bosses in George Roll and Bill Kangas. I've learned a lot from them, from the simple things, the X's and O's, the ins and outs of the game, to, managing a locker room, to dealing with, people, because at the end of the day, we're in the business of people and relationships. And, so I certainly feel confident in where, I'm at in my career, and that this was the right time to make this move.
So let's go through it, because I want to talk about the whole path that you had. You played in college at Western New England, and then you went on to coach right away. It was the season right afterwards. Was that always a goal of yours?
Yeah, I made that decision. It was the summer before my senior year. I was able, through connections, as in the sports world, that's in any business, really, that's so huge, your network. And I had an internship in Nashville with the Predators, and it was kind of at that point in time, as I watched them go through free agency, and I saw the entire coaching staff be involved in, targeting who they wanted, and not just, the GM, but, the assistant coaches, obviously the head coach, the strength coach, and that sort of thing. That was when I decided this is what I wanted to do. And then from there, just kind of right place, right time. After I graduated, I started working for a private company that did lessons and that sort of thing at the rink that Nazareth College, played out of. They had a great assistant there that left for a Division I job in Jared DeMichael, and they needed someone with a goalie background. So it just kind of right place, right time. And that's how I got into it with those guys.
And you spent 4 seasons at Nazareth, then 2 seasons at Williams. Obviously, the goal was ultimately to be a head coach as you worked through all those years as an assistant. Every path's different, just like hockey players, but was it in the back of your mind, I want to have X years of coaching before I go for that head role? And what was that number?
I never really thought that there was a number. I mean, it was just something where when it happens, it happens. Like much like the players, you can't really worry about the future and where you're going to be and how you're going to get there. You just kind of have to focus on where you are at that point in time and work hard. And that's what I did. Now, when I was at Nazareth, it was a great 4 years. But it was one of those things where, and I think we all understand this, it was time for, something new. I had learned a lot from George. I loved where I was, but it was time to challenge myself. And that's how I ended up, at Williams. And then, we had a great season last year, won the NESCAC regular season title. And again, this fall, when this job opportunity came out there, it just felt like it was time for a new challenge. And that's kind of how I got to this point.
And if this was a normal year and all of Division III was playing right now, would you feel, I don't know if the term is left out, but would you feel almost left out because you're only recruiting right now as opposed to having games to actually coach? How would that make you feel?
Good question. No, I don't think so. You're still seeing the guys on the road. Obviously, you're not doing practices and that sort of thing. You're not on the ice communicating with players, but you're still involved in the college game. You're still having conversations with guys. When you're going to showcases, if I'm at Rodman and I see a bunch of coaches, like I'm going to be there talking. So it wouldn't feel left out. The same level of excitement would be there that there is now. Really looking forward to, getting this program up and running. So good question though.
And in terms of Rivier now, let's talk about the new program. What I love about Division III hockey, at least for us, for the EHL, it keeps growing. It seems like there's a new program at least every year. You look back at Albertus Madness or Bryn Athen. Have you thought about reaching out to those coaches for some insight, or do you lean more on your athletic department at Rivier?
No, definitely. And it was one of the things when, I accepted the job the following week. I was on the phone with those guys. Kyle Wallach has been at Albertus has been really helpful. Dave McCauley, Anna Maria, all these guys have been fantastic that have done it recently that I've reached out to. And then guys that have just, that's one of the things I feel really fortunate about is the hockey community is fantastic. The coaches at the Division III level, that I've spoken with, Division I level that I've spoken with, have all been really helpful and letting me know if I need anything. Obviously, those guys are important. As I've been putting together the schedule, but certainly guys that have gone through it, it's always interesting to pick their brains on things recently, and that's definitely something that I did in the first few weeks for sure.
And what's going to be, I think, interesting for you is obviously you go from Nazareth, who was a annual contender in their conference, to Williams, who you mentioned you won the regular season title in the NESCAC, which is a very competitive conference, and you're taking on a brand new program. And we're not going to talk about wins and losses so much, but that it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world to start a brand new program. What has the athletic department told you are the goals? Have they pointed out wins and losses, or what have they really pointed at for what they want you to do in the first year?
Yeah, I mean, there's no threshold as to like, this is a successful year, but I think, coming here, the expectation is to do well right away. And again, hockey is a crazy sport because on any given night, any team can win no matter, what or who or where they are in the standings. But we certainly have that expectation, and that's going to be reflected onto our players. Guys, and it's this old cliche, but it's guys that hate to lose more than they love to win. To me, measuring success is going to come down to just making sure we're looking at this in a data oriented way. It's the process of it. So what's that mean? Well, how if we win or lose a game, we have to be able to look back at it and say, how did we play in a number of areas, and then analyze those areas, and then focus on getting 1% better that day, that week, each day that week at practice. So I wasn't given like a, hey, we need this many wins from anyone, but certainly they started this program for the right reason, and it wasn't just for something random. Like they want to have a good program, and I want to have a good program, and so we're trying to go about this in the right way and in a professional manner.
And I'm sure you have a full checklist of items that you need to work on. And obviously, number one being recruiting right now. I haven't had to ever do it like you guys have at the college level, where obviously it's a pretty unique year where for your program, you don't have to experience this, but for other programs, they're dealing with whether or not their players are going to come back for another season. Obviously, every grade year in college right now gets an extra year of eligibility. So when I say come back, I'm talking about the seniors coming back for one more year. How does that cycle down and impact you? Have you had a lot of talks with players that are kind of talking to other schools and are waiting for decisions from them?
Yeah, definitely. I think I think it's just a tough spot for a lot of guys right now. Obviously, like you said, some universities with players being allowed to have that fifth year, makes it difficult for college coaches to make decisions, and makes it difficult for players to, their timelines are off. And certainly that's something that I've mentioned to different guys, but this is such a major life choice, a major life decision for them to, not only decide where they're going to play hockey, but truthfully and more importantly, decide where they're going to get an education, because that's going to set them up for, the rest of their lives. So just making sure that players know that what's going on right now, as unfortunate as it may be, as far as, roster spots, but we want guys that want to be here. We want guys that are going to come in, compete on a daily basis in practice, and then obviously when they get their opportunities and earn them for games. But it's a great question, but it's just a daily conversation with everyone. Certainly,
it's the daily grind, and obviously you've
Yep.
already actually committed 3 players from our league, 2 from the Walpole Express and Jack Sontis and Eric Buckles, and 1 from the New Hampshire Avalanche and Carson Fotheringham. I know there's others that you're probably talking to still and probably close to offering as well, but those 3 in particular help you start to build the foundation. What do you like about that group?
Yeah, it's funny that you'll hear a couple more here in a little bit from the league as well. That just happened today. So, but no, I mean, what I like about the guys is that they want to succeed. They want to be good members of the community of Rivier, and that means in the classroom as well as on the ice. They all compete in some way, shape, or form. They've all had to grind to get to a point where they are in their careers, where they're getting an opportunity and an offer to play college hockey. I think you saw that in Coach Campbell, Cody Campbell's tweet about in the story about how hard Eric had to work to be at the point where he's at. But they're all quality players, but most importantly, they're all good people.
And you've obviously recruited the EHL before, and I kind of want to tie in past players that you've brought in. Looking at Nazareth, the one that obviously stands out to me goes back to my first year when I was in the league. Michael Tilford played in goal for the Connecticut Rough Riders. I'm pretty sure he's one of the all-time winningest goalies in the EHL. He went to join you at Nazareth, was a UCHC goalie of the year. You brought in a goalie in Kuhn there as well, who was the goalie of the year runner-up. Jackson Shanley is a captain there this season. Casey Kubara. When you look back on players like that you brought to Nazareth, do you try and find similar players out in juniors right now and compare them and say, this player could be my Michael Tilford or my Jackson Shanley at Rivier?
Yeah, definitely. It's funny, like with Tilly, just from the moment we spoke, and he just had a level of interest, but a level of composure and professionalism in him. And when I coached him, and I was able to coach him for 2 years before leaving, he always had questions. He always wanted to improve, and it didn't matter if I was talking to him directly or another goaltender. He was listening in. And so when I talk to coaches about players, whether they're goalies or not, it's, do they love hockey? Do they want to learn? Do they want to improve? And it was just a gradual, increase for Tilly to become the goaltender that he was, to win, goalie of the year last year in that league. And I was very proud of him for it. And then with Jackson, just, again, a player that gradually improved. Like, he was a kid, when we took him, the best way I can put it is just a quality person. He was the captain of his team. And you knew that someday he'd have a letter. But again, he worked for everything that he was given. He became a really good penalty killer for George down there, or over there, I should say. And someone that he can rely on, and just approached it in a professional manner. So certainly those guys are in the back of my mind when I'm going out there and I'm looking at players, most definitely.
And when I compiled the list of players that you've got to coach before we got on this interview, what stood out to me are the teams. Obviously, there's a couple Rough Riders in there, but I mentioned a Rangers player, a Cyclones player who aren't in the league anymore, but a Junior Flyers player, a Lumberjacks player, an Avalanche player. There's a variety there. And I'm sure there's still a variety right now. It's easier to get a sense of that variety when you see that variety at showcases, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
How much have you tried to see what you can in person, but also see what you can online, because you may not be able to travel down to the New Jersey teams or the Connecticut teams and so on?
Yeah, good question. I think that's, this being my third institution, I've had the pleasure of growing my network amongst the coaches in the league. I think it's the beautiful thing about the EHL is the accessibility that you have to the coaches. It's easy to use the website to find the numbers if it's a new coach and you don't have their contact. But I've built those relationships with those guys, over a number of years. So, while there are no showcases this year, that's been helpful. And then as far as, like the 87s, for example, I have a browser on my laptop with Hockey TV, and it hasn't closed all fall, even before when I was still at Williams. Like, it's just, that's the way it goes. And, you just continue to watch as many games as possible within a day on it. So yeah, it's, you can look at things however you want to, but as Bill Kangas would say, everything's just a wrinkle. And the fact that there's no showcases, you have to find a way to get the job done still. So certainly as far as in person and being in New England, that was helpful the first 6 weeks of this, being able to get out to as many games as possible, and as many rinks and see as many players. We had a good amount of interest off the hop here, and just continuing to follow up with guys and continuing to use Hockey TV to the best of its ability.
And one part of it that's so unique about this recruiting is, obviously you guys are going to start off as an independent program, which when you look back on it, it may have helped you, because I know NESCAC can't go out and recruit right now. Obviously, you still had to get clearance through your athletic department to go out and travel and see games in person. Ultimately, 2-3 years down the road, do you want to see Rivier in a conference?
Yeah, I think actually there's been some really good conversations behind the scenes on that. We expect there to be a development here in the near future with regards to that. So what I like about it is it's going to give us a chance to compete for a championship when that does come through, and that does, when the information gets finalized. Because ultimately that's why you play. You want to play to win a championship. And to give our players, our student athletes, that opportunity is huge for me. So, our athletic director, Joanne Merrill, has been really, really good at, behind the scenes and working on that. And I feel good about where the direction it's going right now.
Well, it's awesome to hear. And I'm going to go a tiny bit off track for a second with more of a random type question that I've asked a few guys in our league, because I don't know what it is. I wasn't a goaltender. But a lot of guys were. And for some reason, especially in our league, there's a lot of former goalies that are now coaches. And I bring it up because you're a former goalie as well. Is it something about coming from a position where you always saw the full ice? Is that what made you want to be a coach? But what is it about this trend, if you will?
I truly do think that's a part of it. And you stand there for 60 minutes when you're in net and you're watching the whole game unfold. It was funny. Like, I can think back to my time at Western New England playing for Greg Heffernan. And like, I remember just coming in and asking for the laptop to go over my shots. And like, I wanted to see, like, if we were playing Westfield, what was their power play doing? Because that last time we played them, I gave up 2, whatever it was. Yeah. I wanted to know what it was. And it just became this thing where I was just always interested in that. And that's obviously a big part of coaching. So obviously not to speak for everyone else, but I think certainly the goalie union would say, yeah, we sit there and we watch the whole game. And, maybe arrogantly we say we're the smartest guys, but also the ones that are viewed to be the craziest. But certainly I think a big part of it is being able to sit back there and watch and analyze, what's working, what's not working, is huge.
And I think it's just so unique because obviously when a game is going on, you have one goalie in net. It's not like as a coach, unless, things aren't going well, you're not going to change that guy. So then with whoever you hire for an assistant, a lot of our teams in the league have a head and an assistant. They kind of split up and one guy runs the forwards and one guy runs the D. And I always find it interesting to see where those goalie coaches fall, because it seems like in their mind that it's one is being the goaltender, and then 2, they look at themselves as a forward guy next. Where do you ultimately think you're going to fall on the Rivier bench? You're going to help run the forwards or the D?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for me, I've spent the first 6+ years of my career trying to round myself out. And I feel certainly comfortable in it. I'm looking for the person that's going to be the best fit, for the players. The best fit is someone to work with that's, hungry to get out, improve the program, both through players and on the ice with, skill development. Where they fall, we will see. We've gotten some good interest so far, but that's not something that we'll cross until probably later in the spring, early summer. So I don't want to give a concrete answer right now, but I certainly feel like, it's going to be someone that has to add value to our program.
And I'm excited about it because we've actually played a few games in what's going to be your future home, Conway Arena. Can you just talk about that facility and what you guys plan to do with it?
Yeah, great question. I think Conway is, again, a beautiful rink. It's an off-campus rink. It's just over 3 miles. It'll take 4 or 5 minutes to get there from campus. So it's an easy ride. You just hop on 3 and you get off 3, like the next exit, Route 3, the next exit later, which is great. Working on that relationship right now with the rink's been great. The manager, Gary Warner, has been fantastic. We actually met with him last week to plot out our practice schedule and let him know, some of the home games that we've booked so far. The thing that I'm most excited about is we'll be building our own space over there. The rink isn't old. It was built in like 2003, 2004. And it looks like it was built 2 years ago. Like, they've done a good job keeping it, up. But to be able to go in there and put up a new space, I think is that's going to be, first class is going to be great, because we want to run this thing professionally on the ice, like a Division I, and we want it, that to be kept up and treated that way off the ice. And I think the university has done a great job, supporting that vision. And I think, the partnership with the rink so far has been great as well to continue to move the needle in the right direction.
I think you made a great point there, because when I walked in for the first time, I was like, this place is nice. Like, it looked like it was brand new. It was very, very bright and very well lit. So I hope we can still play games there next year, even when you guys are the new main tenant, if you will. So I appreciate you coming on the podcast. I'm sure we're going to see you at another game here very soon.
Oh, yes, I will be out and about. That's for sure. I appreciate you taking the time to get me on here, and it's been great talking to you.
Thanks again to Eric Sorenson for coming on the podcast this week. The head coach at Rivier University, was going to be a new Division III hockey program next fall. We're obviously excited to see them get started. Pretty cool to have I guess you can call it breaking news there while I interviewed him. 2 more kids committed to his school while we were going through the interview there. So you'll have to watch out for those stories soon. But let's now welcome in the E crew. Guys, we have never recorded at a time like this.
We have not.
We've never recorded at bedtime.
Actually, this is a 2 for Neil. This is the second week in a row. Last week, I think we broke our record for latest recording, and then we did it again. Let's try not to do that next week.
Is this like the E-Show After Dark edition?
It could be.
So that means the FCC, we got like the safe harbor hours, so we can just,
Yes.
Just kidding. Family show.
So obviously, we always drop the podcast on Thursdays. We're recording this Tuesday night at almost about 10 o'clock, which is a good hour and a half past Brittany's bedtime. But it's gonna make it's we have 6 games technically tomorrow, but those games will be finished by the time this drops. So that's a little bit interesting. But let's make sure we introduce everyone. Jeff Mills, Brittany Hart, and Kyle McKenna make up my E crew. And guys, before I started hitting record, I mentioned to you that I had a great way that I wanted to intro this one. So one of a common saying that everyone knows is there's good news and there's bad news. So right now, I think that myself, Jeff, and Kyle have to give Brittany credit for something, but we also have to take a shot at her for something else. So which one do we want first, Brittany?
Honestly, I'm too tired for this. Shoot the shot.
Do we give it?
So on an episode over winter break, you pointed out how...
Oh, God, I probably said... I don't even know what I said. Half the time, I don't even know what I say.
You pointed out how most of the teams were set with where they were at. That has changed over the last week.
What did I do?
I'm
wicked confused.
You said that you said most rosters were what they were going to be.
My God. It's like Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Dude, last night, I already said this in the group chat, but the folks at home don't know. So as Neil said, it's like an hour and a half past my bedtime. I get so tired at 8 p.m. because I swear to God, I'm 75 years old, whatever. It's not the point. I'm going through rosters last night just for fun. Yes, that's what I do for fun, people. So shut up. Leave me alone. Literally shut up. I don't want to hear it. It's Monday night at 8 p.m. What else do you want me to do? Regardless. And I'm oh my God, the amount of rosters with blank headshots. I'm who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And I'm finalized rosters. Who don't know them. We will get into my favorite ad of this. Are we getting into that later?
Once we get into Around the E-Show. Yes.
Okay, so you guys can hear who my favorite ad of the E-Show is. It's going to shock everybody. It's going to shock everybody based on the team that this person went to. So just wait for that later. Anyway.
All we're going to say is the Rolling Stones.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love that.
Well played, Jeff.
Low-key tease.
It's not a hard shot, but I just thought it was funny that on one episode you said that the rosters were where they were at.
Dude, I don't even remember saying that. So
I'm pretty sure that every single coach just came together and said, "Let's prove it wrong," because a lot has happened.
They're screw this broad.
But we'll give you credit also. We're gonna get to this much later in the episode. We were all over you about your Ranger squad, and in experiment number 1. You got
just Brittany's fantasy team.
My experiment numero uno has gone better than I could have expected. Again, so we won't get into it now. We will reveal my point total for the day later on. Actually, I already did it on Twitter, but whatever. But my favorite addition, what would the word be? Clashes? Sure. My brain doesn't work right now. It's too late. My favorite addition clashes with my fantasy team for the day. Just for the day, though.
It happens.
So, yeah, we'll get there later around the E-Show, blah, blah, blah. Next.
Oh, my God.
Britt's getting that late second win, I think.
Brittany, clearly after 9:30, is just an ill-tempered penguin. But anyways, Neil,
that's me. That's me 23. That's me when I'm not sleeping. Anytime that I'm not sleeping, I'm just a force to be reckoned with. The wrath. What is it? Wrath? Dude, my brain straight up doesn't work. I'm gonna stop talking. Goodbye.
I think it might be time for you to get the beanbag out. I think it's beanbag time.
Dude, for real. I'm just laying in my bed right now. I'm word. I need to set my alarm clock.
I guess our homework, guys, is to come up with a name for her alter ego. But with that, we'll start making our way around the E-Show.
He's definitely an Ashley. Sorry.
It's time for this week's segment of Around the E-Show.
Around the E-Show is brought to you by the Junior Hockey Podcast, your home for junior hockey news, knowledge, and nonsense. Check them out at tjhpodcast.com.
I think what we should do is go down each team and point out the new player on each team.
Oh, there we go.
That's going to take us the whole time.
No, there's not.
The Walpole Express roster alone will take us 30 minutes, Cody. Shots fired.
That's interesting, though. Wow, so Cody, I mean, that's really interesting. The Walpole Express, as everyone knows, now in the Central Division, the new fancy division of the EHL, as we move things around.
Fancy division, I'm screaming.
They're in second place. Usually, I mean, if the old saying is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But
Cody said, let's break it.
But
this wanted to throw some new wrestlers
right there. He's sending a message right now to the league.
Yes, and it goes back to that at large, right? Like,
yeah,
I think today in this moment, the three of us would say, the Avalanche are the favorites in the North, the Rangers are the favorites in the Central, and the 87s are the favorites in the South. Who I know that we on a past episode, Brittany and I said that we thought the 87s would win the regular season championship. And Jeff and Kyle thought the Rangers would. Obviously, whichever team does gets the protection that you've never had before of having that at-large bid, meaning if you lose leading up to the finals, you still go. Now, if the three division winners win on their own, then it's that fourth team, which right now would be the Express. But you got to...
Welcome to Prov, Coaster. Get it? Or welcome to, we don't know yet.
No.
Oh, God damn. I screwed that one up. Welcome to the Frozen Finals, Cody.
Yes, our Frozen Finals, I will say this. They're not going to be in Providence for those listening at home. If the Providence Bruins can't practice at Snyder Arena, the EHL can't host their finals at Snyder Arena.
Sad but true.
It's
all right. So breaking news. Sorry. I'm sorry. I did that.
The Providence Bruins are going to the New England Sports Center.
Yes.
In Massachusetts.
Like, oh my
that's
God.
How wild this year is. That's how wild this year is. Like the state of Rhode Island is not letting an AHL team play there right now, or practice there right now. Like it's just wild. So
welcome to NESC Rink 1.
Yes.
Dude, that rink just reminds me of the ABCDEFG HIJK etc. league.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I usually you just say the alphabet league. I didn't know how far you're going to spell out the
I know. I was like, do I want to call all 26 here?
Yeah, midway through that, you were like, should I stop? Should I go? Should I stop?
Yeah, it is home of the Boston Junior Bruins. That makes sense.
And I feel like they have all their showcases there. I've been to one of I shouldn't say that. I've never been, actually.
It's got 8 sheets of
I've
ice.
never stepped foot in there.
They used to have 6 sheets. Now they have 8 sheets over there.
Yes.
So the Bruins can have
Hey, that's
that's
a COVID testing site.
That's true.
The parking lot is a COVID test
yeah, the
site.
parking lot is, yeah.
Wow.
And that place is a monster. I mean, you've been there, Neil. Brittany, I think you've been there. Kyle, I'm not sure if you've been there, but new home of the Providence Bruins 2021.
Yeah, I would have to see it. I have a feeling I have.
It looks like a mall. It's so big.
The place is massive.
Yeah, the thing about Snyder is like when you're at college and you literally have like gate around your college, you can control who comes in and out. You know the testing protocols. Not that we would be rogue and just come in and rip COVID through their campus, right? We'd make sure everyone got tested before, but you have to take every safety protocol that you can. And obviously the Providence Friars season is more important to Providence College than the EHL. That shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. But
no. Oh my God, finals, but make it somewhere else. How? Like I kind of hate it.
Well,
it's gonna be weird.
It's gonna be so weird. The last what? Or I guess not last year doesn't count. 2 years before that, like Providence was the spot. Come on, back me up.
2018-19.
Yeah.
2018-19.
And then 2017.
Come on. I was just listening to Country Road Take Me Home, PLF 18-19. I'm going to get emo again. Stop it. Stop.
I was looking forward to coming up north, too. You know, Providence is a great town. We've talked about
No.
it.
I almost just... Okay, I almost just...
I wanted to have you guys over at my house in Cranston. Christina and me were ready to have you guys over.
You're basically... You know how, like, in college hockey, they announce who's hosting, like, a regional or an event?
Yeah.
Jeff is the host of the Frozen Finals. We're in his hometown, basically. We're 15 minutes away.
That's right, baby. Cranston, Rhode Island, hot skip and a jump from Schneider Arena.
Hey, for what it's
next
worth,
year.
For what it's worth, I got to open the calendar. Hold on here.
Club Meek Mills.
It's already locked into the 2022 Frozen Finals in Providence will take place from March 23rd to 27th. But we got a
spot for all of you to sleep if you want to come on over.
Yes, we have to get through this year's finals first, which we're going to. There's a lot to happen between now and then, though, and there's a number of new players, Brittany. We won't name all of them.
No, I just have one. That's
just some
all
key players.
Like the one kid.
I'll let you cover that when we get to the Central. I have a few that I need to point. I have a few that I need to point out in the North Division, because I watched Seacoast play. I called one of the games this past week. And
you're Neil from the North, so you must support us on
exactly. Right, Neil from the North. What am I? I need like a cool. There's nothing with a B though. Brittany from BJR.
Brittany from Bridgewater.
Brittany's Junior Rangers. Remember that? God. The folks at home haven't seen my logo. That's a different story for a different day.
We could tweet that out this summer.
Nick and Brittany.
The Spartans have a line that they brought in from the Eclipse. I'm not sure if you guys know this. Like, this is their line. Like, they play together.
Yeah, like their pass shoot score.
Yeah.
Shoot. So this. Oh wow.
So number 7, number 9, and number 10. Cooper Board.
I don't know these people.
Cooper Board, Conrad Schmid, and Sean O'Gorman, and they each had like
Cooper Board's been all over the box
6 or
score.
7 points this past week.
Board
has 8 points. Now we don't support scoring the game-winning goal and then doing a drive-by at the other team's bench and then your own bench, because that's
right. I have some other things I don't support, but we're not going to talk about that.
But that line has been excellent. Jeff, I don't want to call you out too much for fantasy, but Clendon and Stewart was like, I don't want to get points for Jeff, but then when Jeff drops me, I'm just going to light it up. I think 6 or 7 assists last week. I guess what I don't get about that team is like, what happened over winter break that you had lost 8 straight going into winter break, and then you come back and it's 3 straight wins against the Lumberjacks?
I think they just ate. I think
quarter of the week.
They ate their bright green apples on the break, and they just decided that, hey, bright green apples are my thing, and they're going to help fuel me to be healthier and get ready for the second half of the season. And Clendenin, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Thanks for ripping it up.
And then when we recorded this last week, I asked you the question, who are the Lumberjacks?
I feel like we asked that question about like half the teams in the league. Who is blank?
2-game winning streak, 2-game bender for Jimmy and the Jacks.
Then they come back and
Jimmy and the Jacks.
And they sweep.
Ooh, that was good.
That was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I can use that in the future trailer.
Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
But they sweep the Wolves, who the Wolves give the Avalanche fits at times. That division is kind of like maybe
it's like the hardest division according to Neil.
No,
Justy, back me up.
Hold on.
Is Vermont's this week's Who Are?
No.
That's part of Who Are segments?
Brittany, on this episode, once we cover some of the new players, I actually was going to say that the Central is now the toughest division.
But yeah, welcome. It's been the hardest, but like whatever. Hop on the bandwagon.
A player that I need to point out to keep an eye on in the North, though, a new addition to the Avalanche is Sammy. Was it Jeff that told me how to pronounce this?
Oh yeah, Hakkarainen.
That's what I'm going. That's what I'm going with tomorrow. That's what I'm going.
He came from the EBC. EBC. What the heck? All right, again, it's too late for me. He came.
We know what Britt's talking about.
Right. He came from. Honestly, let me screw up the alphabet for that.
Yes. Now, let's get to that Central Division because it's probably the division that has the most new faces.
Yeah, just because of Cody.
No, though, like the Railers too.
Yeah, they got like one new kid, and it's my kid.
One.
My kid.
No, I have
a child. I thought you didn't want to have children, Britt. You had one? Oh, look at that.
You guys want to get my TikTok reference, but there's a TikTok that says, "Beep, I'm a mother, no drama." If whoever's listening to this,
that's trying to say we're too old. Are you trying to say we're too old?
Whoever is under the age of my age, i.e., 22, because I'm 22 or whatever, you'll get the
21.
Right, 21 Savage. Yeah. I need to go to jail.
Yes, that artist 21 Savage. He is excellent.
A new player on the Warriors, an 0-2 named Hayden Riva, was supposed to play at the Berkshire School this year, who's not playing at all. He's committed to Union. First game, it's like...
Fun fact, Whose dad coaches Union? The kid used to play in the EHL for the New York Capricorn. 1, 2, 3, go. Neil, don't answer. Race Bennett. Moving on.
Yeah, remember Race Bennett?
Yeah.
Big dog.
Yeah.
Rick Bennett coaches Union. All right, I got
Good
all
school,
the facts
ECAC.
today.
Yeah. So Hayden
not
Riva,
playing this year.
first sight when he got on the ice, I was like, oh, he's not the biggest kid.
It means
But-
like 02, Matt Fusco or whatever
Yeah,
the kid's first name
It's all
is. That's
right.
a big kid
He'll be like a Nathan Gerby type. Small,
Yeah, but-
kind of small and
Dynamic speed. So keep an eye out on him. The
Who got him,
Rangers.
McGrath or Andrikopoulos? Was that a together
McGrath.
recruit
It
or
was
McGrath?
McGrath's connection that helped.
Well
me.
done, Ryan. Golf clap for you, sir.
Yes.
Hit us up in the group chat that we have.
Yeah,
Who-
what up, what up?
Who's new on the Rangers, Brittany?
Oh,
I
man.
don't know his name.
They
He
really
came from
made
the New,
changes?
he came from the New Jersey Hitmen. Don't know his name. I honestly couldn't tell you but his name, but I do know he came from there.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Let
I
me
don't know
check
his
it
name.
out.
Looking sorry, but I do know he came from the Hitmen.
His name is Jack
I have-
Slifke.
Sure, I don't know.
Shalipsky.
He had he got on the score sheet today, but I feel like half the roster did. But whatever.
Jack
I mean-
Other than my 2 players in fantasy. I swear to God. How many
That's-
Rangers got points today?
At least like 6.
What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Ryan
count.
Bailey and
I think
Cookie
it was
did.
more. They had 9 goals. I bet you 12 guys had points.
I'm gonna go count
Now,
while we talk. Keep
For
going.
Slifke, all you gotta notice is 6'5", 215. That's a
What?
That's
How
a
old
big-
is he?
He's an age out.
Oh,
14,
Oh, one.
14
Oh, one, sorry.
skaters got on the score sheet today, and that includes the goalie.
Dude, 6'5", 215. That's like Mike
Okay.
Tyson driving a school bus. That's like Clendenin Stewart. It's like the
Yes.
same size, massive human. Holy heck.
Yep. So that's a new player to watch for the Rangers. Is there anyone new on the Seahawks? I don't think there's anyone new on the Seahawks.
I think
What?
I saw no. Backtrack. I went through every roster in this joint, so I feel like I might have seen one. I think they do. You know
No
what?
new
There's
Xanahawks?
there are people who left the Xanahawks, but I guess.
Well, Bill was making a lot of additions before this.
Yes.
So maybe
Yeah, that's
that
true.
was-
And
Wait,
Bill
I
was
could've
a
sworn-
big trade deadline guy last year.
Who's this Scott McManus kid? I'm gonna laugh if he's like 6 games played. He has 1, and it was
Wow, Scotty
1-8.
doesn't know
All
McManus?
right, look at his first game played was 1-8. All right, he might be new.
So
Get out.
eight.
Get
a
out.
4
player
days
to
from-
watch. A player to watch on the Seahawks. The
Look,
Chiefs.
who's this kid? This kid was not here either. His first game was also the 8th. Who's
He's
this?
not here either. He stinks.
I love when the
No, I
accent
didn't
comes
say
out.
he was bad. I didn't say he was bad. I just said he's nil. That kid was
Oh.
not on the Seahawks before. I can tell you that for free.
David
Indeed.
Novotny.
Yeah.
Right,
Sharp
was
press
not on
kid.
the roster. All right, so yeah, screw you, no new Seahawks kids. I just
Okay.
found 2.
His headshot looks good.
Anyway, since we have to get through this segment eventually, the
I'm
Chiefs.
just trying to prove a point.
Yes, and you've proven it. I've told you about 5 times today that you were right about something. We
Legit,
really,
Matt.
we
Hey
really-
everyone, just for the record, Neil didn't know how to do math again today. It's what.
Oh,
Oh, God.
that's
Anyways, a new player for the Chiefs played for the Apple Corps last season. Had 3 points in his first game with the Chiefs. Factored
that
in on
good?
every one of the 3 goals they scored.
that's pretty good.
Toivo Kramer. So keep an eye on
Oh, I
him.
remember him. He was
Yep.
he was another big kid.
Yep.
Toivo Kramer.
Do you want to
Apple
cover
Corps,
the Railers, Brittany?
Oh,
I
here
mean,
we
I
go.
don't
You
know who
have
the
to.
other kid is. All right, everybody. My one player for the Worcester Railers. I saw this kid play for the first time 3 years ago. So he was like a literal infant. So I played for the first time 3 years ago at prep finals. Played at Tilton. Jagger Benson. Kid is sick.
Oh, Tilton hashtag what up, Megan?
All right, yeah, everyone knows. True. Everyone knows that, like, I'm a Tilton fanatic. Like, 2 of my best friends played at Tilton, like Megan and then Brendan Justin. Big shout out right there.
Dude,
like,
Meg's
I'm a-
going to play at Sacred Heart. D1
She
college
is.
women's.
I'm a big Tilton girl. So when I was like cruising the roster last night, it's like literally 11:30 p.m. because like at that time, like my energy spikes. I'm like, what in the Christ's name? Jagger Benson is on Worcester. I like threw a fit. I was like, no way. And I was geeking out. And
Go
the kid's
Rabs.
on Worcester now. And whoa.
Go Rabs.
Sorry. Anyways,
Go Rabs.
and then I was like, yo, watch. He was like, I don't know anyone on my team, but I was like, Brendan DeMarco, watch out. Who gets the goal? Jagger Benson. Who assists the goal? Brendan DeMarco. Goodbye. I'm done. My advisor life, done.
I thought it was Kyle
Yep.
with the crystal ball. Is Brittany with the crystal ball?
No,
Kyle's
dude,
sharing
it's
his
me
crystal ball
the
with Brittany?
No. It's been me. So, yeah. Jagger Benson, watch out for him.
Not the only addition, though, for the Railers.
Sorry, that's the only one I know.
Ooh.
They also added a player named Mike Dimascola, who came over from, as Brittany loves to say, the alphabet. And I've been told by the coaching staff to watch out for this kid. They also added a player named, I think it's Coyle Bankakis. He was the player who won the MVP award in the NA3 last year. Did you see the numbers he put up in the NA3?
Oh, wait, this is who me and Alex Gasick were talking about the other day.
He had 138 points in 47 games.
Who did he play for in the NA?
Call him Johnny Malandrukalova.
This is wait. We're talking about all these guys they just added and they lost today 9-2.
Well, and that's where I want to get to that in a second. Because like
They play
we have to see how the NA3 translates over to the EHL. Of course, this kid
that's
scored.
a different story.
Okay, this kid scored the game winner in the shootout against the Seahawks this past Friday, and they line up against the Rangers, and it's like, I think it's a matter of
mental.
When somebody has your number, they have your number. And when you fall behind by 2 in the first 90 seconds, you just feel maybe defeated.
That'll be the chemistry factor too, Neil. I mean, BJR's got Shifky, Shifkley?
Kid from the Hitman.
Okay, Kid from the Hitman.
I don't know if we can say
Is he the only if he's the only addition that Rich made, everyone else has been playing together for not just this season. They have guys, as we've talked about this year, that played together on P teams for years. So their chemistry is about as good as it can get. Worcester, you got a lot of new guys. They can be shiny new toys. They can be great, but you haven't played together, so you don't really know how everything works. So
right. And I don't think some of these, like, I don't even know if Jagger practiced with them. I'm pretty sure he was like, all right, game day, get in the lineup, buddy. Here you go. Have a day.
Yeah,
Again, I could be wrong. I don't know, but from what I gather, there was not much practicing going on with the new kids prior to
keywords chemistry. It takes some time to develop that chemistry, and we're recording this Tuesday. I think they play again Wednesday before the podcast.
They do. They play Valley.
Yeah. So,
dude,
I'll see how they develop.
I'm on it. It might be 10:03 p.m. 2 hours past my bedtime. I'm on it.
But that's not the
only beanbag chair coming soon.
That's not even it in the Central. The Wizards added a player. They added. Bennett Jung in goal.
The goal, yeah. He played prep school, did he not? No,
he played at Mount St. Charles.
Stop. Ugh.
So he's gonna compete with minutes with Alto.
Were you about to say that?
Yeah, because I was EPing everyone and their mom last night.
Do you ever EP yourself?
Dude, imagine my EP profile would be elite.
You would you'd find a way to give yourself. You know how they put the little trophies in the corner of what the person has won?
Yeah, they'd be
give yourself
queen, three
swag
4
trophy
years in a row.
She'd give herself 3 cups. People be like, when did she win the cup?
I won it. Dude, imagine I am the Avalanche scorekeeper, blah, blah, blah. I'm just the queen every other year. First year is the intern, now we graduated. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes. And then the last team in the Central.
Legendary.
The last team in the Central, the Express, who I guess you could say added the most guys in bringing in 4 new faces. 2 forwards that I don't know. But in talking to college coaches and talking to Eric Sorenson, even he pointed out that these are 2 kids to watch in Wyatt George and Dalton Garcia. There's a defenseman named Todd Philibert who led Corpus Christi in scoring last year for defense. And then they bring in Braden Patricia.
Oh,
steam and moves right there from Cody.
Ducks.
People.
Wow.
That is loud and clear. This is it. It's not up for discussion. It's championship or bust.
And
that blew my mind today when we were talking about those.
So Brittany, I don't know, Meek Mills, do we change our picks right now? Because I mean, Boston's schedule got a little tougher. I know they won today 9-2.
Yeah.
But now New Jersey, are you in the not in the clear, but they're at the edge?
It's going to be interesting. Title. Brittany, we're recording. The Central Division is not the toughest, okay?
Justy, did you hear that? Text in the group chat when you get to this part of the episode. Thank you.
Thank you.
And down south, there's a few new additions as well. I know the 87s added a couple players.
One of them was like a local. Again, I spent so many hours on EP yesterday. So this is the one time people could be like, "Oh, you do spend your time on EP." Last night, yes, that was the case. All right, I'm not gonna front. One kid was like local kid. Adam's a big fan of the locals. I can't remember what the other kid's situation was, to be quite honest.
It's fine.
Brittany, what's his favorite food?
He also dished. I don't know. He also dished some kids out. I know one kid.
Cam Sikowski.
Yeah, he's going. He's on. Oh my gosh, he's on Team Maryland nowadays.
Yes, and the names for the two players. The one that's from New Jersey, Matthew Zdanowicz.
Sure, we'll go with that.
One.
And Zach Lindenworth, players that who let the dogs out, as Kyle likes to say.
Kyle, come on. I need to hear it, please.
Look, you know what? I texted head coach Adam. Who let the dogs out? Who? Because I was hoping to go to the game tomorrow when they play the Pro Tech McKenna's, but I will not be there. Anyway, sorry, Neil, what were you saying?
Law office. Tell the law office to go eat some frothy custard.
Gotta go.
Say, law office, go eat some frothy custard.
I gotta win a debate tomorrow. I gotta be in court. You know, it's a big deal.
Yeah, and then some of the other new additions in that division kind of came before the break too. You know, like when the Little Flyers added GM Papa in I want to say it was late November, early December. Obviously, that's a huge help. We didn't mention any Lumberjacks or Rough Riders because they missed most of December, but they're back now. Like their full rosters are back. So like, don't forget how good a Tyler Bonapane was, a Colin Bella was. It's like
Paul Fine Lease was.
Yes, we're gonna get to
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Paul Fine Lease. He's
before we get to fantasy,
I can't wait. I'm gonna like. Oh, I can't wait.
Now that we're officially, everyone has started the second half, or by the time, the next week goes by, they'll have played their first game of the second half. We're not going to do this every week, but we're going to make our predictions right now for who the teams will be at the Frozen Finals. And I will lead it.
That's right now. No.
Yes.
What?
Yes. We're going right now, and I'll make it easy, and I'll be non-upset. And I'm just going to say Avalanche, Rangers, Express, and 87s.
Wow. I am absolutely appalled that Neil's fourth team was his best friend Codester. I'm appalled.
Wow.
Anyways.
She's had the fire going all day today on Twitter.
I know. That's because, Twitter. Dude, I've been on the edge.
Oh.
She's on the edge.
But not
I'm on the edge. Like someone yeet me off the edge right now. The Edge Sports Center in Bedford, Massachusetts.
Who wants to go next?
Me. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't. No.
You got to pick a winner from each division and a at large. So I'm thinking that I got my 3 division winners in Avalanche, 87s, or Express or Rangers, and then the at large is the other one.
All right. Word to you. Am I going?
Stressful.
Anyone else?
Go ahead, Brittany. Queen hot list. You can go.
I mean, I'm sticking with the same. All right, 7's no brainer. Sorry, everybody else. BJR. I get again. Everyone's appalled. I picked them. Everyone's shocked. Jesus Christ! Never thought they would come. I'm gonna go. I guess I'll keep the Avalanche. No comment. Then my fourth demon. Get fired up, ladies and gents. I'm going PLF.
She says the at-large will be the Flyers.
That's because the last song I heard before we got on this podcast was Country Road Take Me Home, and that was PLF 1819. I almost cried because I love that team so much.
That could also mean that the Little Flyers win the playoffs, and then the 87s get the at-large. But we're just identifying the 4 teams that... You don't have to predict the division champion. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't think it's not going to be the 7s, but what else?
Okay, well, then you're saying that.
Actually, you know how we just talked about the NA3 and they're like weird vibes?
Sure.
You know who came from the NA3 who's actually like not bad?
Oh.
There's a few guys.
Cal Kuel.
Yeah,
King.
there's a few
All
guys
right.
that have
King,
friends as
King,
well.
Texas Brahmas. What's up? Get up. Yeah, he's my dog. Love that kid. Yeah, you know what? Not a bad NA3 ad.
Neil, I'm ready. Teach.
All right, let's hear it. You're not gonna have the same as me. I can bet every cent in my bank account.
I'm just gonna say it so fast so that I can just like get it out of my
1,
system.
2, 3, go.
Rangers, Avs, 87's Walpole.
The same as me. We're going with it right now, Jeff.
Yep.
All right, Kyle, come on.
Deal with that.
Kyle's
You
been
did
thinking
not
about
have
this.
Someone's
to-
gonna
you
screw
don't
that
have
up.
to pick-
You know someone's
I-
gonna screw that up. It's gonna be Vermont. It's gonna be
Dude, that's why I
It's
wanted to pick
Wizzy,
Vermont.
playoff
It's not gonna be-
Wizzies.
It's not going to be easy by any means.
It's a weird year,
Yep.
is it not?
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
something weird is going to happen. Rangers, 87s. I do. I want to take the little Flyers. I see something there.
You're not, I know it for a fact. It's like low-key hard to pick the fourth one. But it's not
Does
really
this
low-key,
work?
it's
Can I
high-key.
go Rangers, 87s, Walpole, New England?
Yeah, you can do that. You're saying the Wolves are going to win the North.
Yeah, there's something about the Avalanche where I feel like with this year, I don't think that the whole setup benefits them somehow.
It's the hardest road ever to the finals.
I think I said that in my vid.
Every team
Not to be confused with COVID.
And no disrespect to the other team that there's something about the little Flyers. I agree with Brittany that I feel like they'd be like a good March Madness team, the little Flyers.
Fact.
Like they'd be the team that would like upset teams.
They'd be like the
Upset,
Dayton.
no offense, is New Hampshire. There's something about New England. Like, New England's ready to take that next step.
Yeah.
And Boston, Walpole right now, top two teams. I was going to say the North, but I can't say that anymore.
Your picks can change too. I think that what we did point out in Brittany's video is no matter what, you have to win 2 series to make it to the finals. That's never happened before. You've only had to win one, some people or some teams that have had buys. So it's going to make it interesting. But now with that, we're going to transition into what to watch for, which includes our fantasy, Brittany's favorite segment.
Before we wrap things up, here's what to watch for this week in the E-Show.
And with that, it's time for the E-Crew Fantasy Challenge, brought to you by Bertucci's Brick Oven Pizza and Pasta, your home for authentic Italian dishes, catering, and group dining. Check out their party pizzas and specials at bertuccis.com.
So with 6 games after the day after we're recording this, it's tough to kind of read the full totals that we're going to be at because
But there's 6 games where I need to look at the schedule.
we should all get points tomorrow. There's 12 teams in action.
If I don't get points tomorrow, that's it. I quit.
Everybody fired. New team.
Don't even pick me for the at-large or any of that nonsense. I'm done. That's it.
But let's point out some key players so far because the order in the standings really hasn't changed. So first for Jeff, as we all know, didn't make a lot of changes, but I think what's helped Jeff a lot is Davis Bone wasn't able to play in anything in December for Jeff. And then Davis Bone comes and plays in January, and he's got 5 goals, 2 assists, 4 power play points, and 23 overall points.
Yeah, he's Mike Tyson driving a school bus, right, boys?
Like what?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
And but
Incredible.
at the time of recording this podcast, right, Jeff, you haven't had a goalie play yet.
It's okay.
And it's like,
but they've got me on my points so far, so I gotta let Georgie and Mason Don't Call Me Arnold Palmer rest a little bit.
yes,
They need some rest for the stretch.
And you want to keep going with the Vermont trend. Like we picked Paul Fine-Lease for Brittany.
Yeah.
I know we don't have it, but I would like a replay of the picking of Paul Fine-Lease because I feel like it wasn't just you people. I feel like I had a half of a say in my own pick. So don't let it go unnoticed. Jimmy and the Jacks.
Yes.
Like I low-key had something to do with my own pick. I'm not gonna lie. I don't
Paul,
really recall the picking of it though. I'm not gonna front.
Yeah, and Paul's like,
we picked it for you, Britt, but it's cool.
Paul's like, Davis,
just like I gave you backsay, but whatever.
Yeah, Davis has 23.
Love you.
I have 22 with 5 goals of my own, 2 assists, and 3 power play points as opposed to 4. But it's like, okay. And then all this week I was leading until the Rangers had to play a game. and she goes out and gets 37.4 points.
Today, that doesn't include any points from Paul Feinleis or Papa or Jack Johansson that occurred prior to today. I got 37.4 points today.
Here's what I have to say. Brittany,
What's up?
what did you have? 6 kids play today? Today?
Six.
I've had 4 guys playing like the last month. This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Neil
I think I
Raven.
had way more than 6. Like, A Moore, my dog. A Moore, O2, watch out for that kid.
All those ranges,
Watch
all her
out.
dogs.
Oh, my dog. Yeah, seriously. BJR said, oh, what's up? We here.
Man.
Count it up, Neil. Neil couldn't do the math today. I had
All I gotta say is thank you, Ryan Bailey. Thank you, Marcus Cook. Love you both.
she
Dude,
had-
Rich
got
took
2.
away. No, Rich took away.
Yeah, I saw that. Cookie
Jay
got out of
Moore's
this.
assist. I texted Rich mid-game, and I was like, "Hello, I'm actually pissed off at you." And and he's like, "Dude, there's still 20 minutes left, and your goalie had an assist. Relax." And I was like, "All right."
You had 8 players contribute today. All I'll say is this: they're not going to score 9 goals every game.
No, but they're
No.
also not going to score just one.
Yes.
Not when they're playing the Avalanche Express. You're playing all the.
You can't play the absolute.
Oh, that's right. You can't play. Yes. Ugh.
Yeah.
You're silly. But
But-
that's okay. You know what? They
Welcome,
might
my
not put up
newcomer.
9 goals.
Remember what it was
What?
like when we weren't in COVID year? We could just play everyone. That was fun.
Yeah, Jeff and Kyle, why did none of us pick Johnny Malandrucolo?
Oh, dude, especially
wait,
me. I've been
Rich
talking about
texted
Johnny
me
for like
that.
2
I
years.
was eyeing him
Rich
down
texted
today.
me that.
I hate myself.
He's like, "Do you know who you guys all
Ugh.
forgot?" And I was like, "I don't know." And
Dude,
I'm
Neil,
like,
you
"Oh my
literally-
God."
Neil's given me like that's been like my quote unquote player because I always loved Johnny and calling his name, and we always call him Johnny Alphabet because he's got so many damn letters.
Johnny Alpha.
Dude, he
And then we
hates
didn't
that,
take
by the
him.
way.
I like
It's
it.
mad
Oh,
funny.
all right, sorry, Johnny.
But like,
No,
We
it's
do it
not.
out of good
Who cares?
faith. We do it because
we
that's all.
forgot about him because he's been injured.
Yeah,
Right, he had a
that's-
shoulder
that's true.
injury.
He put up some
Today-
good points before he was
Ah.
injured, but yeah, the injury.
It's tough.
He had 9
Shoulder
nine
injury, I
points
believe.
in 10 games leading up to November 10th.
And then he had the Hattie
and
today.
then today was his first game back with a hat trick and an assist.
Is that good?
It's like,
Oh, can we do a
Okay.
revised draft Monday night?
Wait, actually, speaking of revised drafts, can we cut it down? We have to cut it down from who we already have, correct?
Yeah, there's
correct.
no more additions.
Okay.
Correct.
Right. Okay. I'm
Only
just
cut downs
confirming.
now. No more
I'm just
additions.
The
confirming.
E Show After Dark.
Yes. So
Kids are getting cut.
keeping with the theme of the Lumberjacks players starting to give up or give us points, I got 16 from Egan Smith as he collected 6 assists. And
Ooh.
David Raduzzi, while the first start didn't go my way, he's collected 21.4 points for me so far. So I
There you
am
go.
pleased with that. I have 66 points overall. So we're heading in the right direction. I'm pleased with that. And as Kyle mentioned, not many of his guys have actually got the chance to play. I think he only has 4 guys that have played so far. And stealing Dennis Arkapenko from Brittany proved to be very clutch for Kyle because
He's the
Yeah, the
franchise
kid-
right now. He literally
The
is
kid
the
has a
franchise. Like,
vendetta against me. I'm convinced.
this guy has the
Jesus.
C. He has the C right now, pal. It's all yours. It's Deshanto's jersey.
This is what happened
I
with
needed
all
this.
Brittany's players when she was picking weekly. They were just like, "Oh, bro, I'm on Brittany's team. I'm gonna go. Good night."
Right, I'm like, damn, what I do to you people for Christ's sake? But don't worry, my squad has my back, as
And
we've
then-
proven.
And then
37.4.
the minute they leave Brittany Heartless's squad, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm off Brittany's team. I'm out of prison. All right, here we go."
I'm out of
Literally, like, damn, is my team a jail sentence? Christ.
Dennis
Britt, you're
had
creeping up.
You know who Brittany kind of reminds me of in fantasy? This is just in fantasy. Have you guys ever seen the movie Major League?
yes.
Oh, of course.
You know the owner? You know where I'm going with this?
Oh my god.
No.
Yeah, I have the idea. It's kind of.
I have never seen this movie, so, like, of course, typical me. Haven't seen any
It's-
movie anyone
it's-
ever
Oh,
talks
now
How do you
about.
not see Major League? Sorry.
Oh, you have
It's a
to
good
see it.
one. I
I'm
mean,
like not a big movie
a
person.
classic.
As we can tell, my attention span is that of like a rat. So I
it's a good sports
can't
movie. I
typically
recommend
sit
it,
through a
Britt.
movie.
I mean, I don't watch a lot of
actually mean
movies
it sincerely.
either.
I recommend watching it. You'd probably like it.
Yeah, I don't watch a
See,
lot of
all
movies either, Brittany, but they have some like there's just some
Classic.
classic lines from it. Like there's a scene where Wild Thing is pitching, right? Which is
Wow.
Why
Our
not blank on
boy,
his name?
hashtag winning, Charlie
Charlie
Sheen.
Sheen?
Yeah, Charlie Sheen.
Wow,
But he's Ricky.
dang.
He's Ricky Vaughn in the movie, right?
Ricky
And
Vaughn,
remember when-
99.
Remember when he couldn't hit like anywhere near the strike zone, and the broadcast was like just a bit outside. It's like that wasn't just a bit outside. That was like
That was
5
Bob Uecker.
That was like 10 feet outside. Like that wasn't even close.
He was throwing like 98, 99 mile an hour gas just into the
Amazing.
back of the freaking cage.
Absolutely amazing. So yeah,
Yep.
Brittany, there's your homework.
That'll be part of the 2022 Providence
That-
Finals viewing party at my house. We'll just binge all the good movies that.
And then Brittany,
talked
help
about.
me help you with fantasy here. I'm praying you've seen Jerry Maguire.
Oh, we're still on the Jerry.
Jerry Maguire
You
should be
watched
required.
it?
Like if I was a college professor teaching a sports class or anything along the lines of that, I'd be like, guys, sit down. We're watching Jerry Maguire. You have to watch it.
No.
Yeah.
The fish are coming with me.
Future.
All right, so there's-
students.
When I say homework, it's homework before the finals.
Wait, what's that movie that Rich told me I had to watch? Damn it! I brought it up once on this. Maybe it was not in this. It was on like
A
a
hockey
different thing.
movie?
Miracle.
No,
The Land Before
no,
Time.
I've seen Miracle. Jesus
Oh my
Christ!
God, Anchorman.
Mystery Alaska.
Anchorman! Yes, dude.
Anchorman?
Rich got
Really?
pissed off at me because I've never. Yeah, Richie, I'm talking to you. I still haven't watched it. He got pissed because I've never seen that movie. He got pissed at me
Anchorman
and Go Umara
I
because
feel
we've
bad
never
now. I
seen
always
the
send the
movie.
Anchorman gifs in our chats. Now you're probably
Oh,
like,
Milk was a bad
There you
choice.
go. There you go.
Bad choice.
I have mad movies to
when we
watch. I
went
need like
crazy
a
a couple
break.
weeks ago on the podcast, I was like sending out like Anchorman quotes like left and right because like it was like, damn, I'm pretty sure Neil killed a guy.
But he was like, yeah. I get. Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, I've
So there you
never
go,
seen
Brittany.
it.
3 movies to watch between now
Boom.
and the finals.
Hey, when you're nannying the kids, just throw those on. It's fine.
Yeah,
Oh my
Major
God.
League,
Major League's
great
fine.
kids movie. Major League, awesome. Anchorman, great kids movie, awesome.
Jerry Maguire, therapeutic. It's fine.
Yeah. you're
So
good.
Dennis Arkapenko got Kyle 4 goals and 2 assists, 1 power play point. So
Excellent.
17 points. As I mentioned, there's 6 games taking place the day after that we're recording this. Obviously, the game schedule kind of just gets really packed quickly.
It's
And as
awesome.
Brittany mentioned, right now we are at 12, 8, and 3. 12 forwards, 8 defensemen, 3 goalies. Oh, and we have music playing.
Come on.
We're not getting copyrighted. We're not getting copyrighted. Blame Instagram. Sorry.
And-
Brittany, is that the artist known as 21 Savage?
I thought that was Meek Mills.
The
Or
song
was that my
Philadelphia,
cousin
banger.
Meek Mills?
Dude, have you heard the song Philadelphia? By
don't
Meek?
think so.
Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Ooh, I'm gonna-
Philadelphia by
I'm gonna
Meek
roll into-
Mills.
genre.
Rolling into
Dude,
Philly
roll.
next time, rolling up in Philadelphia.
To the song Philadelphia by Meek Mills. If I'm like running on the treadmill, which I don't do, flyer me up. I'm ready to sprint.
It's all Peloton or nothing now. Treadmills thing.
I've been on a 2-day hiatus for the Peloton because I've been mentally unwell, but that's okay. We'll resume that at a different
Rest days are important too. Just make sure you get your BioSteel. Hashtag promo code EHL. Hashtag promo
Hashtag
code-
Biz20.
Am I getting my BioSteel? Or is this not
You know what's
It's
amazing,
Kyle's
Kyle?
thought I was getting that for
BioSteel.
Christmas from the EHL.
Justin is gonna
Way
love
to
this.
find
Yes,
nothing.
Justin's gonna love this segment because he mentioned it to me the other day. He goes, "Is Brittany just gonna go and like see you at a game and hand you the box, and then you have to mail it to him, or can Brittany go to the post office herself, slap the
I'll
address
mess
on there,
with the post office.
and then just mail it to him?" So, Brittany, when I see you at the Granite Cup, can
Oh
you,
yes,
Wait,
there we go.
what-
Trade
what
it
what
up.
happened
Bring that
again?
box. Put it in Neil's hands.
Didn't
I,
it say like
I copied and pasted the addresses in the email to the guy, and I just copied hers twice, so both
okay.
boxes went to her.
I
You
was
guys
sure
are
if
roommates
it's like
now.
it was
Kyle,
like
you live in the
Kyle
hand, man.
Hart and then like her address or something like
No,
wacky.
no, no.
You know what I mean?
No.
Britt, you got a roommate.
I
Kyle.
copied the addresses incorrectly, so that's why she
Like,
has two.
That is
But,
like one of the few times I feel left out in the group chat. Everyone's like, "Oh, dude, like I'm loving my BioSteel." Brittany's like, "Yes, like queen, loving my BioSteel."
I was like, what are you talking about? I have nothing.
Like,
yes. And Justin always says like, why can't she just go to the post office, slap her sticker on it, and write his
Dude,
address?
it's funny because the nanny
point.
fam sends me to the post office too, like during
Oh my
acts.
God, Brittany, don't say that. Oh no.
I like frequent the Needham,
All right, that's it, folks.
Massachusetts
We're done for
post
this week.
I'm about
office.
to start a
Like-
GoFundMe page for myself,
Oh my
just like
God.
raise money to send Kyle BioSteel.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Does it? Yeah, Justin has BioSteel too, right?
No, Justin doesn't.
I was gonna say he's not
Yes.
our executive producer.
Yes. No, he doesn't have BioSteel. I think Justin would get the BioSteel it would like arrive in the mail to him, and he would say, "I don't want this," and send it back to me. So,
Dude, that stuff is so good. Had it tonight when I went to the gym. It's excellent.
I yell.
Blueberries great.
It drives Vicky nuts that I yell hydrate and then squirt it into my mouth. So
You're wicked annoying.
Oh, I like that.
But it's good. I like that. I like the stuff.
Hydrate.
But
Yeah, you want to do that on Monday for the Granite Cup? I'll bring my BioSteel ball. You bring
All right,
yours.
sick. I'll be
Cheers.
there, but I'll be left out. It's fine. Don't invite me to the BioSteel
Oh,
party.
pretty too. Yeah.
Like,
You have to
sheesh.
you have
be
to yell.
ringside.
You have to yell hydrate though.
Can we film it?
Sure.
Yeah,
Like
we-
hydrate before we do an interview. Come on, you guys jump in front of the camera, yell hydrate, do that, and then I'll start my interview with. I was gonna name a random person from New Hampshire, but my brain just got overwhelmed. So
What is that new application you young folks use? TikTok?
Boomerang.
Tick?
Boomerang.
TikTok.
dude, if we had an e-show TikTok, imagine if we had showcases this year and we had a TikTok, business would be booming. Oh my god, I would have
Doesn't
a
sound like a bad idea at
damn
all.
field
Next year.
day if we had showcases and I could be on TikTok. I would have a field day. Oh my
2021,
god.
I honestly
Dude,
have
the Texas Brahmas have Lone Star the NI team, the Lone Star has a TikTok. Graham Burke's always on it, old PLF, like
Oh, Grant Burke.
HLP goalie of the
Instagram.
year. And
Okay.
he's always on it, and it is so funny, and I love it.
we can discuss it in the off season, obviously.
Yeah.
But maybe
the 2021-22
maybe a
season.
TikTok is in our
that's it.
future.
That's if the talk is still popping. I mean, I will spend an hour and a half on TikTok after we get off this, but
What was the?
I mean, the rest of us are hoping Time Hop comes back because
I
we know a
love
certain
Time
someone
Hop.
that's just a
I love
time
Time.
hopper.
I should actually
Hop,
reach
hop,
out to
hop.
Time Hop and get them to partner with the league because I use it every day.
If they looked at your past Time Hops, Neil, I think they would be like, you know what? We can make this guy. This guy can make us a star. We should.
legit.
We're getting
What else?
very close to my Time Hop of when I had the handlebars. And then I have to do my annual post that says, "Should I bring?
Where are those, by the way?
Should I bring this?" Oh yeah, please. When Vicky got home and I was like, "Look at I shaved my beard down to this handlebars," she was like, "That's disgusting." You
I
can
had,
see
I had the guest bed
So
all ready
rude.
for you,
Neil, I was a big fan of the Trot Nixon, like Kevin Millar.
right?
Handlebars
That was a very
stash
good comparison,
thing.
Kyle.
Yeah.
like
So
that.
I mean,
Not bad for a guy from the
maybe
South, right?
maybe for No
bad, not
Shave
bad.
November next year, I'll raise some money and do that. Maybe that's
There
what
we
we
go.
do. Maybe that's what we do.
We're
But
thinking
to-
too far ahead.
yes, to finish the recap of how this is going to go down in fantasy, the
I'm a
roster,
savage, the end.
the roster that you have right now, I'm talking over you. The roster that you have right now
Good
is
night.
the group of players that you're going to be picking from. If there's an injury of some sort, you can take somebody else in the league, but we're going
You
to
should be forced to pick from your other people.
well, we could, yes. Right now,
What do you mean, my other? What do you mean?
No, what-
other
what
people?
No, like I mean, like say we're down to the second round or whatever you want to call it, and say I was to cut
well, you wouldn't cut them.
Gillette, whatever, dish them off my team, whatever
Ricards
you want to call it.
Zelensky's? Why would you
Right,
cut
I
It
know
would
that's
be
just an
selected.
example. It's just an example. So say I dish Ricards
I'll take it.
Zelensky, say peace up, see you later, and then say Younger gets hurt, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, Zelensky's
no,
Oh, I see
come
what you
fill
mean.
my
So it's like a
spot.
reserve list in a way.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
how it'll work after this month. If something happens
Gotcha.
in this month where you don't have that reserve list, you can pick from the whole pool.
Honestly, I just saw Richard
Johnny
Zelensky because he followed me on Twitter.
Oh,
But so we're
Richard
gonna
Starry,
trim
so-
down from 12.83 to 6.42 for February, and
That's
then
intense.
3.21 for March. And remember, in March, when you lose one of those 6,
bye-bye.
that's it. There, you can't fill that spot. So
Nope.
if they get knocked out, you don't fill that spot. So
I'm so glad I have the
I-
goalies
So
who
what
I
you're saying
do.
is Brittany's gonna have a full rot. We're gonna have to adjust the rules here.
no, I mean,
You can't have 6 Boston Junior Rangers.
hold
I'm
on.
not even trying to sound like a jealous little Southern Mid-Atlantic cheese person down here, but
Here's what I would say right now, though.
Kyle
Kyle.
Mac and cheese.
Here's what I would say right now. When you look at Brittany's team, obviously you would think that she's going to pick all the Rangers that she already has.
One would think.
But the 6 forwards,
You like tapped into my brain. What's going on here?
you're gonna leave Yasuda
What's
off the
going on?
list.
Right?
yeah, like what if
That's-
Boston loses?
You're
It's
gonna
like,
you're gonna leave.
I
Boston
kind of
are a big
forgot
win
I
for
had
her.
Kay
if Boston
Suda.
loses,
Yeah,
Brent, whatever happened to hashtag roll sevens?
No, I'm still on the roll sevens bandwagon. Right. I'm still there.
So
they just haven't played in the top minute. They haven't played.
We'll see when it comes down to
Ryan Webb off your list. You're going to leave Ricard Zelensky off the list.
Well, the Wizzies aren't going too far in the playoffs. Sorry, not sorry.
Oh.
So Ryan Webb was Ryan Webb.
I like this. It's reverse psychology, guys. He's just trying to inspire young athletes.
Dude, Corey, you really think Ryan Webb is going to be my 1, 2, 3 forward as we're in March? So you guys are telling me the Wizzies are going to make it to...
They were in the Frozen Finals last time we were in Providence.
Guys. It's a weird year.
But that team was a little bit different than
Just remember this also. Our fantasy ends before the finals. It doesn't continue in the finals.
Okay, but still, I don't think they're
because we're all broadcasting
steamrolling through BJR and Walpole.
Correct, Jeff. Yes, I cannot have a repeat of Providence with Brittany cheering when a goal goes in, because that's what she would do if we were still doing fantasy. She'd be like, well, you're on my fantasy team and you scored, so I'm going to interview you, and you're on Jeff's and you scored, so I'm not going to interview you after this period.
And that's how the Granite State Cup this weekend will go. So if you score a goal for Jeff or Neil's team, you ain't getting interviewed. Get to the back of the line, buddy. I don't want to talk to you.
It's gonna make it interesting for us though, because right now, Jeff, I don't want you to lose sleep between now and March, but eventually you're gonna have to pick McMichael or Mason Palmer.
Oof.
That's
TUFF.
That's tough, because remember the essential factor that you have to keep in mind is.
All of a sudden, I feel like I'm on an episode of The Bachelorette or something.
Yes.
Right?
Who are you giving the rose to?
Goodbye.
But you have to keep in mind that the Central has an extra round if you're not the team that gets a bye.
Right.
And I mean, we've talked about this before. The Seahawks, right? They've gone back and forth. Duran Moore for how long? The Express have gone back and forth. Buckles Palmer for how long? At what point do you start leaning on 1A as opposed to 1A and 1B? So
actually, I have a question as a newcomer. Yeah. I'm a newcomer to the show, respectfully.
Yes.
If you're in the playoffs, you got a goalie, you won. Do you ride the 1A, or do you play the other guy in the next game in this?
It's been weird to watch, right? Like the first year the Avalanche won the Frozen Finals, right, which was the 2017-18 season.
Was that the season of that was the season of what's his face who goes to Potsdam?
Yeah, so they went legit every other game the entire time. Nick Sorgio and Mike Pagluka, and they played 4 games in Providence, and he used 2 and 2, and and it was interesting because this is not a shot at Rich, but Rich will even admit it. Nolan Egbert got tired that year, and Nolan Egbert was the starter for the Rangers, and it was I think he started 3 of every 4 games from November on. So
you're kind of going with a plan, who's the guy who can get us to the championship, and then who's the guy who can win it for us? Because there is a difference.
But there's so many factors though. You have to factor in where you're at in your division, right? If you know that you're not going to get the bye in the Central, but you're still vying for maybe that at large, now you're looking across the league more about what everybody else is doing. Every point is huge down the stretch. This week that we're in between now and the next podcast too, the Chiefs have 4 games, right? Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, Chiefs have a decent amount of games.
And Monday, right? Those are their 4 games. 2 against the Rangers, 2 against the Express.
Welcome back.
Welcome to the Central.
Welcome to the Central.
Now, could they lose all 4? Yes. Could they win all 4? Yes. But this is a huge test for them right now. And if they steal 2 or 3 of those, this thing's wide open in the sense.
Captain Max Phillips said, "I am your captain."
Oh my God.
Here comes JP Mello.
It's gonna be really interesting to watch though, Kyle. It's gonna be really interesting to watch, because that was the way that the Avalanche won it the first year, right? The way they won it the second year, that was not the case.
No, oh my God, what's
Lane, it? They kind of throughout
Matt
the regular
Lane,
season.
Ron Kidd, dude, Nathan Pickett.
Sorry,
Matt Lane was last year.
Nathan. They kind of
Matt Lane worked a few different.
Yes, they worked a few guys in.
Sorry, who?
Nathan Pickett was the starting goalie for the Avalanche 2018-19 season.
Okay.
during the regular season, they kind of rotated a lot. But come playoffs,
Chris does a lot of that.
Yeah,
usually.
come playoffs, Pickett played in all 6 games. Remember his stats that postseason?
Yeah, he won goalie of the year, didn't he?
This is the first year that
the year.
This is the first year Rich has had that.
He won MVP of the finals or whatever.
He won
I just said Rich.
MVP of the playoffs. Who won goalie of the year that year, Brittany?
Brendan Brawley.
Yes.
PLF 1819 RIP.
PLF, yeah.
PLF. Oh, that don't think country road.
Oh, remember when Thomas McLarnin was the backup and was like 15-0? Was that 18-19?
Yeah, then he played last year, and now he is at Assumption College in the Worcester.
Yes.
The Worcester.
So, Nathan Pickett that year, Kyle, in the postseason. Are you ready for this?
Postseason stats only.
Can I get the postseason?
Yeah, you literally just hit the thing that says regular season to postseason.
Neil, by the way, I'm loving the Bauer bag in the background. It's cool.
Neil sucks at dude. I will never forget Neil in men's league over the summer.
Bauer bag?
Did you say Neil sucks at hockey, Brett? Wow.
Dude, you should have just seen Neil playing against Chris Sorella in men's league in the summer. It was so funny.
All right, that's not fair. Chris Sorella played Division I hockey. Yeah. Neil played hockey.
Dude, you should have seen like there was a time where like Mario snapped his stick. Good time.
Chris is on the ice every day still as a coach.
That's my broadcast bag, Kyle. I have all my broadcasting gear in that.
That looks awesome. I like it.
I'll try. It's a USA hockey bag. I'll try and get a second one. But Nathan Pickett that postseason went 6-0 with a 117 goals against average, a 958 save percentage, and 2 shutouts.
Ooh.
And remember that championship game? Him and Brawley gave up like 2 goals each in the first period. That like wasn't what we thought it would be.
Yep.
Like that was like his worst game of the playoffs. So it's an interesting point, Kyle, because I don't know what these teams are going to do in goal. I really don't. And like, there's so many teams to watch what they do in goal because
the talent is there too. You know, I mean, like the EHL, there's a lot of depth in goal, and a lot of teams they utilize, like you guys said, like
multiple goalies.
1B, the 1BB. Like there's like 3 goalies on some rosters that.
And watch, like there's going to be another move or 2 here between now and when the rosters freeze on February 10th. And it could be a goalie. It could be a
Brittany.
goalie.
Well, Brittany, what's the
low-key
TMZ report here?
No, I don't. The one team that I want to watch, maybe goalie-wise.
Philly, New Jersey.
The New Jersey 87s.
The 87s. I just don't know if they're so like if. I think that for a number of teams, if they had a playoff game today, they know who their guy would be.
87s don't.
I don't think.
I feel like Maddie and Adam would be like IDK.
I think they'd probably go Kopak today, but I don't think they're sold on that. And Jeremy Connors played pretty well for them too. So
let's not. Maddie Sales. Don't hate on the kid.
I'm not hating him.
No, we're not hating. I mean, it's like
no
hate. No, I'm just playing. Chill.
So it's gonna be
sleepy time.
Yes, it's gonna be very interesting. But she did say, Jeff, in an hour she's gonna be wired because it's gonna be past.
Dude, that's what it always happens at like 11 o'clock. I'm like ready to run the Boston Marathon. I'm like, how come at 8 p.m. I could shut my eyes and go to bed? Like.
11 o'clock, she's like 26.2. Here we go. Let's go.
If you wanted to run 26.2 miles at 11 o'clock,
dude, I can't even run like 3 miles straight.
We would all get out of our house and follow you on the journey.
Like Forrest Gump.
We'd follow you on the journey of 1.2 miles. Where we turn around and go back to
Brittany, this is your 15th break in the first hour. You got to keep going.
I hate running. It sucks. If you run for fun, you're a weirdo, and that's the T.
Brittany, I'm just thinking, like, if you did it, though, it'd be like a good TikTok, right?
Right. No? I'll Peloton 26.2 all day. All day, every day.
I hear good things about Peloton.
Me and Neil love the Peloton. Yeah. Oh, look at Neil's Peloton in the back. Yee.
Check her out. There she is.
So, with that, huge set of games.
Peloton, do you want to sponsor us?
That'd be awesome.
Please do it.
But the thing about like most of our sponsors, we're trying to help them make a name and us make a name.
Right.
Peloton's
there.
Like the class I wrote today was like, you finished in this place out of 91,000 people that have taken the same class as you. It's like, oh my God.
Talking about a company that thrived during COVID
Like
Peloton.
perfect time.
Amazon.
Perfect time.
Peloton.
Yes.
Wow.
So
They are.
if Peloton, if you're listening, one for
Alex
every
Toussaint's class, my favorite.
one for every team. They would definitely want that.
Oh.
But with that huge slate, guys, I know you're gonna be tuned in for all the games, and I'm excited about it.
Catch in New Hampshire, maybe not.
See
People
you
at
the
home.
Granite Cup. Woohoo!
Thanks for listening to the E-Show. Learn more at easternhockeyleague.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Also, be sure to subscribe and get notified when next week's podcast is released.